audience.
But we will build. I've seen we had like what 2 followers.
Yeah.
Are
At
we
least.
recording right now?
Are we? I don't know.
I know. Are we
Oh
usually do a
yeah, yeah,
closed
we're
reading?
recording. Yeah.
You know, yeah, I've been spreading the word, and now that we have a Facebook page for the Dragoon's Lair, uh, we'll reach more people. We'll get people. We'll get people.
If you build it, he will come.
Did you ever hear the other version of that?
If if you build it, he will come. If you want him to build it for you, press 1 for
No.
Married with Children. No, what's the other one?
If you suck it, he will come.
Yeah. Oh God, we are children here. But yes.
Yeah. Welcome to the Dragoon's Lair podcast, folks.
That's right. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon. With me, as per usual,
It's his faithful sidekick, King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
That's right.
I think it's funny that I call myself King Shit.
Aren't you?
I am.
We all know you're full of shit, so you might as well be the king of being full of shit.
Wait, the crown I wear with distinction.
Yeah. Crown you wear is made of feces.
Same
Oh.
difference. Hey, you know what? It's a crown, so.
It's a crown.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we've got ourselves a very interesting show for this week. We're going to go over all the movies that are going to be coming out in February. We figure we'll do each episode. We're going to run down for the upcoming for the year because we take it month by month. We could have done a massive show
Yeah.
for the beginning of the year, but it just seemed like we needed to give it a little bit of a break, let people marinate and kind of see what is it that they actually want to watch.
Right.
So, and that's the thing, when people want to watch movies, they're going to remember them.
Yeah.
But for us to talk about stuff, we need to make sure it's memorable. And that's usually the problem.
Yeah.
The early part of the year is a bunch of movies that are not really that memorable.
Well, you figure you release the meh movies in the beginning half of the year. People still have work. Not a lot of free time on their hands. Kids are in school. That's why they tend to release more of the quote unquote blockbusters around holiday times when people have off, or they wait until the summer when school's out and you have a little more free time on your hands.
Yeah, but I would think at the beginning of the year, I'd want to release something that it's only for the adults. Because the kids are in school. So it's like, let's get the adults something to watch. Give the college students something that they can enjoy.
Well,
this is the time for the experimental movies.
Yeah, but also you have to take into consideration you're just coming off the holidays. People aren't having that much money left over.
No, they're returning everything.
That is true, but you got to wait at least 7 days for it to hit your credit card to get the money back or whatever. And everybody has those I'm going to hit the gym New Year's resolution that should be done in about a week.
And it's really not a slight against people who go to the gym.
Not at all.
But resolutions are the worst way to make those physical changes.
Yeah.
You want to make a resolution, you do that throughout the course of the year. You do not do that at just, I'm going to do it on January 1st because new year, new me.
No, it's not. I say that every year, but I'm like, hey, I like the asshole that I am. Yeah. So
the motivation just is not the same for people when they're actually trying to go and make actual changes. When you make them at the beginning of the year, it's bullshit because that's not something you're willing to stick to. It's, okay, we think people are going to hold us accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. But, I mean, when you see somebody posting about a bunch of stuff about their workouts on Facebook, Instagram, and everything, they're holding themselves accountable. They're annoying everyone.
Yeah, but at least, like you said, they're holding themselves accountable. They're setting a goal, and they're going for it.
And I am one of those.
Unfortunately, they have to share it with everybody.
Hey, listen, I'm one of those people, and I am extremely guilty of that. And I will be back at that once I am able to get back to the gym. And that's when I will start posting more stuff on my Instagram, Blue Dragoon 13 on Instagram, and you'll be able to see what I'm up to outside of the lair. Give people a inside look at what I do when I'm not here, but not when I'm actually making money. Because
Yeah, if that's a street corner, he can't disclose
Yeah,
where
we
he
can't.
makes his money on.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to do that. I've been told it's not someplace I'm supposed to discuss.
Yeah, the hookers are complaining he takes so much money away from them, and he doesn't report it too. So shh, don't tell people.
Yeah, not all of us can spend our time. I don't know what you do in your spare time other than watching me TV.
That's about it.
Yeah, so if you're not playing hockey or softball,
Hockey, softball, or me TV. That's pretty
yeah,
much it.
that's
No, no, I'm sorry. I have to amend that. I do play hockey. In the springtime, I do play softball. I do watch me TV, but not just me TV. I watch the Science Channel. I watch the History Channel.
well, at this point, the History Channel is the Alien Channel,
It is. I'm trying to
and
figure out where I come from.
it's
Find
the
my home
it's
planet.
the swamp people and the aliens.
Do you remember when in the channel TLC? Remember when that stood for the Learning Channel?
I do.
And now it's like 18 and pregnant, and I'm a 500-pound person who eats everything and feels sorry for me.
90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance.
Love After
No.
Lockup. Oh wait, what? Who owns the Learning Channel again?
Beats the shit out of me. Somebody
Discovery.
who never learned.
It's Discovery. The same people that bought Warner Brothers.
I
So
still can't believe
that's
Warner
why it's all
Brothers.
bullshit.
Okay, let's jump into this because this is annoying.
Well,
Let's jump in.
we're going to start off today. We're going to talk about Willow because
Yeah,
I'm excited about Willow.
Yes.
That
let's talk about Willow.
like these last few episodes really had me hooked, and I've been dying to talk about it because oh my god, did they like really bring everything full circle?
Yes.
This was that moment where we're seeing the characters are making that final stand, or what we think is the final stand. Because spoilers, no. This is basic spoiler. They set it up that we may like at least 2 more seasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That. Yeah.
That's the spoiler. We're gonna try to be as spoiler free as we can for the most part, but a spoiler like this it looks like because every episode starts off with the opening of the book
like
and a new
chapter of a different book.
This one going back on the shelf is like, and there's 2 other volumes.
Right. We ended volume 1, and I was waiting for a little hand to pop up and take out volume 2 from the shelf. But you saw volumes 2 and 3, and I was like, interesting.
Yep. What was one of the biggest standouts of this season finale of Willow for you?
There are just so many to choose from. I'd have to say the end scene, like what would it be called, like the end credit scene.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, the fact that this was a post-credit scene.
Yeah, this is a post-credit scene.
And not even full post-credit. I think
no, it's like
mid-credit.
Yeah, it would be called mid-credit. Yeah. Anyway, like you did the whole thing. They faded away. They did the fade, and then it's like boom, next scene. But I like it. I have my theory as to what we saw, but I probably would say it next week just to give people a chance to catch up on it because I don't want to give any spoilers. Don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, we're the people that we like to give at least a week.
Yeah.
We'll give you a week. We'll discuss certain things, but the major plot points and spoilers, that is, you get a week. Because Marvel movies have proven that has been the ruin of if you don't see something right away, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I hate not being able to be like, I can wait a week to go to the movie theater to see a movie and let the crowd die down a little bit. No. Now it's, if you're not there within the first 2 days, they're already talking about it online and you're screwed. Yeah. So you have to basically cut all social media off.
Except for us, because we don't do that.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil, but we will
entice.
Yes.
Entice.
Now, the action in this episode was on par with the original movie.
Yes, it was. It felt like watching the climax of the original movie.
Yeah,
the big fight at Tyrannus Lee.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was like that.
Oh, it was one of those moments where we're legitimately, you watch it and you're like, this feels just like Willow's original ending for the movie.
Because there was parts in it where, like, you know how, like, you would see a movie and it would be, like, action in one part, and then they were cut to another part. Like, you see, like, other characters who aren't in, like, the main scene, and they're, like, having a conversation or a cup of coffee or whatever, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, go back to it. No, it's action in one part, okay, jump, oh, action in another part.
Yeah,
And then let's go action in another part.
They made sure that every character had something
To do
and was involved.
relevant.
Yeah, they were relevant,
Thank you.
but they were also like they were all involved in their own like struggle.
Yes.
Every character got a full arc.
Yes, they did. I have to admit, I missed a couple episodes. I will go back and watch them later. But watching the finale today, bravo. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you watch part of it, give me a call. We'll watch the rest of them together. No, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was one of those things when I heard about it, I was like, oh, let's see how they're gonna do it, because obviously they're not having Val Kilmer come back. I was like, ugh.
Well, that his health issues in the past.
Not saying anything, but
Yeah.
when I heard about it, I was like, okay, let's see how we do it. They did it very well. First episode, I was a little iffy. I was like, why do you got to do, what's going on? Let's just get to the action. Kind of saw some things, like some of the things in it were predictable. You're like, okay, you knew this was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. But then once they got rolling, you really didn't care about that anymore. You're like, let's just see how it happens. It was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we had talked about this when the show first came out, that the original movie did have some pacing that it felt very slow.
Yeah.
And this didn't really have that problem, at least not for me, but one of those last two episodes kind of had like a little bit of a slower pace to it, but there was action involved.
Yes.
So it definitely made it worth it. So, and everything built up to that climax, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is good. This was what we wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
And this was what was this? 8 episodes?
Yes.
First season, 8 episodes. So 8 hours of Willow. I never thought as a kid I'd want 8 hours of Willow.
You didn't think it was possible as a kid.
It not even. It's like you got the story, you were like, all right, this is, but 8 hours, it's like now. Now it's like, oh shit, this totaled up to like 8 hours.
Who was your favorite character to watch in the show?
Oh shoot, now that's tricky, because the guy is a badass with the giant meat cleaver. He is hilarious.
Barman, and the actor's name is Amar Chad Patel.
Yes, and he was great. Like, he stole the scenes he was in.
Yes, he did.
But I'm gonna have to say, out of all the characters that popped up in this show, my absolute favorite was Christian Slater.
I was gonna say Christian Slater's Allagash.
Yeah, Allagash was great. It's Christian Slater, and oh my god, we didn't have Val Kilmer, but we got the next best thing. It was just there, and it was just like, oh, the casting was perfect. The casting was absolutely perfect.
I think my favorite, I like Borman because he was like the sarcastic one. Like, you have a really like tense scene between two other characters, and he'll come up with like the quip.
Oh yeah, he just gave some bizarre shit that was just like, you looked at even the characters are looking at him sideways.
I think my favorite line of his in the season finale is he gives like the armor to he gives armor to what's her name? Oh shit, I'm horrible at names.
Yeah, well,
the main female character.
No, the second main female.
Second main female.
Because remember, Laura Dannon is the main character.
The princess. Okay?
Yes.
And her best friend, and he pushes them out, and he's like, one of them turns around and goes, "What are you gonna do?" Because he has to hold off the bad guys. He goes, "I'm gonna go out of this world the same way I came in." He goes, naked and kicking ass. Closes the door, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And he looks at the bad guys and goes, "Okay, who brought the butter?" And I think, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch it. Like, who brought the butter?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he said it as a distraction to catch the bad guys off. Like, who brought the butter? Like, and maybe they turn around. Fuck, who brought the butter back here? Did you bring butter? No,
Yeah.
sorry, Borman, no butter. Fuck.
Yeah, Borman was basically that one character that he's your friend that you cannot have him on speakerphone.
Yeah, no,
because
not at
you
all.
don't know what he's gonna say.
Or maybe you do have him on speakerphone because you don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah, but it was just one of those moments where it was like Borman is that character that it's like he was stealing the scenes he was in.
Uh-huh.
You know, everybody else was more the dramatic tone and stuff. He was that comic relief.
But he was a comic relief without being the comic relief.
Yeah, and that's something you don't get to see.
No.
I mean, I will say that my one major criticism about this series of Willow felt like Star Wars. It really felt like Star Wars because I'm like, okay.
Well, you did have Wicked in it.
Yes, but
and R2D2.
Yeah, but no,
not R2D. But she was no, he wasn't R2. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
no, it's the thing is that Willow's character. It's like now he's the crotchety old wizard. So now you're kind of looking at him, and it's like, oh, he's kind of like Obi-Wan and Yoda, where it's like giving the youngsters some shit, even though still training. But it's like really like.
And Erin Kellyman, she was in Solo.
Okay.
So there's your two Star Wars connections right there.
Yeah, but I wasn't even thinking about that. It was just like the way the characters and then the way they started using magic. I'm like, okay. You can tell there's the retro vibe on the special effects for this.
Works.
It's great that they didn't overdo the special effects, but the effects in that final fight sequence
were amazing.
Oh, it was they really did a great job bringing everything together, and I was excited about it. It actually made me feel like I was a kid again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm not used to anything making me feel like I'm a kid. When something can capture that like feeling of how I felt watching the original. It's like every year people like there's always someone every few years talks about a new Goonies. And I'm like, if they could the only way is they'd have to completely capture the feeling of the original, which it was lightning in a bottle. I do not believe they can.
That movie won't work now because, excuse me, because
no truffle shuffle.
Not even the truffle shuffle. You think about it now. The movie came out what 86?
I think it was about 86.
Movie came out 86 or somewhere around there.
Early to mid 80s.
Early to mid 80s. Us as kids, you know what? We rode our bikes all over the place. You know, we went on adventures. We would go out at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we got home from school. We'd go out, come back home when it's dark, and we would go out and have a freaking adventure. Now it's like, oh, you gotta have a play date. You gotta do this. You stay over here. Like, no, go out, have fun, get into trouble, skin your knee. Kids now don't do that shit. They rather sit there, fucking cell phone in their hand.
The generations have changed.
Yes,
and
which
is
sad.
But it's also too. It's they've gotten to the point where I was a latchkey kid growing up. It's like came home from school, you had the key, you got it, you went into the house. There was no parental supervision.
No,
it was don't answer the door if anyone knocks. If the phone rings, let the answering machine get it. Otherwise, just let it ring.
Yep.
It was, don't touch the stove, but the microwave and the toaster are okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you make a bowl of cereal, make yourself a sandwich, or warm up some of the leftovers from dinner last night.
Yeah, and I'll be home 5 o'clock, 5:30.
It's like, when I get home, we'll have dinner.
Yeah.
That's how things were.
Which was?
Nowadays, the cell phones have made it so parents need to know where their kid is all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were lucky when we finally had beepers. Because I don't know.
Had one.
You never had the beeper?
I never needed one.
See, I had the beeper. I loved it because it required me to have to go and find a payphone.
Which was an adventure on itself.
It was an adventure, but at the same time, it also meant you had an excuse not to return that call.
Yep.
Because, yes, you see, oh, mom's calling. Oh, shit. I'm at the park. I'm like, nah, I couldn't. I couldn't find a phone.
I was in the middle of the park,
Yeah.
Ma.
Yeah, I don't know where the phone is, so there was no working payphones. Nowadays, you can't even find a fucking working payphone.
Yeah, they
If
don't
you can even
exist
find
anymore.
a payphone.
Yeah.
There are some spots that I've seen in Manhattan. They have the actual booth. But
Like the Superman closet booth?
yes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi spot or where for, plug in your phone if you're running low. The thing is, I've seen homeless people
Living in it.
Yeah.
It's a one-room apartment for them.
And rent's cheaper than every other one bedroom in Manhattan.
Come on, a free one bedroom with Wi-Fi. You
can't
golden.
go. Oh yeah. So and it's like, oh, you can charge your cell phone in here and stay warm in the winter.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, sounds great. But let's get back to Willow.
Yeah. Okay. Thoroughly enjoyed Willow. Hopefully they will do the right thing and stick to the formula. And for season 2.
Now I will say the soundtrack for this has been a blast. The last song in this episode,
you heard the beat come in, and
I heard it. I knew exactly what it was.
I knew what it was, but I had to be sure. Yeah. Like it's one of those things. Like, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing?
I'm listening, and all I hear is "I want my MTV,"
and I'm like, Dire Straits.
Yeah.
Honestly, what song would have worked? I think a little bit better would have been "Tears for Fears." Everybody wants to rule the world. That would have worked a little bit better.
How much you want to bet that'll pop up for next year? Although
let's hope.
Although I can't remember if it was one that they used throughout the season, because you said you missed a couple episodes.
Yeah, what, so Tears for Fears?
They might have. I don't 100% know.
I don't know.
But because I can't remember, because that final episode just really
it was great.
It like made me forget a lot of like the little things in the rest of the season.
Yeah,
it's like
I
know
up for it,
but it does make me want to go back and watch the whole thing.
It was a very good payoff. Like you said, 8 hours of Willow. At the end, you will be like, that was worth it.
And you want more.
Yes. It closes the first volume perfectly while leaving you, I want to see what's going on in volume 2.
Yeah.
Like, that was the appetizer. Next is the main course.
Yeah.
Let's see what they got.
This seems like this is the Willow version of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Because we've got Willow, which was the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your Hobbit right there. The adventure set everything up. Now, here comes the years later, the payoff of Lord of the Rings. And if it's a trilogy series, then, this will be Lucas gave us another trilogy.
Which works.
Yeah. But, that's the thing. I give George Lucas a lot of credit for coming up with these characters and the concept. But the direction it's been taken in now, you got to say, ever since the acquisition of all the stuff, it's like I never even thought we were going to see a Willow come back.
Yeah.
Like the last Willow reference I even heard was in the movie Fanboys.
Wow, yeah. Because when Willow came out, it was a good film for the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't blockbuster material. It was a good popcorn flick, and you're not expecting anything from it.
And at the same time, too, it was sword and sorcery back then.
Yeah,
wasn't what it is now.
No, not at all.
It wasn't in the demand.
It was practical effects instead of special effects.
Yeah, but the sword and sorcery that's picked up over the years, I mean, let's face it, The Princess Bride is an utter classic.
Yes.
But it doesn't have the magic.
No, it has the sword. It's sword and fantasy.
Fancy. Marriage.
Love. Pooh, love.
Yeah. So, it was funny. It was heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
It had action, adventure. It gave you everything.
But the magic.
Yeah. There was something, but it was more like, Billy Crystal wasn't really he wasn't performing a real miracle. It was
Miracle Max.
Here's some medicine.
Yeah.
That was what it was. It was, here's your medicine.
The only thing we'll have to do after that, go through his pockets, look for loose change.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where it just wasn't part of the time.
Right.
Now, I think this is the time.
Yes.
Because it's not only hitting the nostalgia points, but it's also like, this is something people want.
And I think it works now because I think everybody is a little tired of the superhero genre. Marvel did a great job with their movies. They told their story with the Avengers and that whole thing from Iron Man through Endgame, but they kind of oversaturated the market a little bit. So I think this is a pleasant escape from the superhero genre.
Yeah.
You still have the adventure, but you don't have the capes and everything like that.
But it also, because it's a series, it works better
Oh yeah,
because rather than being in the theaters, you're
right,
watching this at home.
right. You're watching it at your leisure.
Yeah. And 8 hours. You wouldn't sit in the movie theater to watch this for 8 hours.
Unless you're a psychopath.
That's the thing. Movies are starting to be 3-4 hours long. I'm sorry. I wouldn't even touch The Irishman because I was not. I saw the length of it.
Yeah.
And said no.
Not that we're knocking The Irishman. We're just like, it's too long.
Yeah. I'm not. I wasn't even willing to give it a try just because of the daunting task of the amount of time it was going to take.
Yeah.
As an investment. The Snyder Cut was too much of a fucking investment.
I actually sat through the Snyder Cut because I wanted to see.
Oh, I
wanted to see it.
I sat through it, but that was the benefit of, okay.
I can pause and go take a piss.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the same thing with The Irishman, but
yeah,
I think once you got up to take a piss for that, that was probably the movie that it was like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a bathroom break, and then you come back. I want to watch something else.
Yeah,
I'll come back to this one. And I heard that from a lot of people. So it's not me. I don't feel like I should have to like invest that much time in a series. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
In a movie, you're going to need to give me a goddamn intermission.
Yeah.
I need time to go to the bathroom. I need a food break. I'm going to need a second bathroom break. Need to stretch my legs, like crack my back.
Crack your back. Yeah.
Let my eyes adjust to the light again before going back in, because otherwise I'm coming out of the theater. I'm like rubbing my eyes, like, oh my god, it was so dark, and I didn't even get any sleep through that shit.
I know.
So,
all right, I'm gonna jump into the February movies.
Yeah, let's talk about the movies for February. February is thankfully a short month.
Yes.
So we have some interesting movies that are coming out.
Yes.
Now, how much have you heard about 80 for Brady?
I've seen 2 commercials for it.
I've seen 1.
I think I might have seen the same one twice.
Probably.
It's
still unrated at the time that we're recording this. They still don't have an actual rating for this movie.
Okay, it has Lily Tomlin, Sally Field.
Yep.
And Jane Fonda
and Diane Keaton.
It is not getting an R rating. Maybe if you're lucky, a PG-13.
You know what though? With these ladies at this point in their careers,
they don't give a shit.
No. I can see it getting an R because they're gonna say some raunchy shit. Think about it. This is Magic Mike for older women. So this is going to be that movie where it's like, oh shit, you don't know. And Lily Tomlin is known for being hilarious, but also saying some crazy shit.
I don't see it getting an R rating. That's just me. From what I've seen from the commercials, it's the 4 of them wanting to get Super Bowl tickets when last time the Patriots were in there with Brady. And like I've seen, there's a scene in it where I think it's Lily Tomlin. The Tomlin or Thompson? Tomlin, right?
Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin's in.
There's the comedian that's Tomlinson.
Oh yeah, no, Lily
Tomlin.
This is
Tomlin.
She's in the Patriots dressing room, and she's at Gronk's locker, and she turns around, and there's Gronk, and he's like, "Hey, today I'm Gronk, Tide Pods," and she's like, "Oh," and she like touches his chest, she's like, "You're so big," and he goes, "I know," and I was like, "Dude, she's your fucking grandmother."
Yeah, the thing is though, you got to remember something. One,
he's Gronk.
Gronk is not an actor.
No, he's not acting either. He's really. I really believe he's at do.
No, you know what? I've seen him in. He just did a commercial, I think, for like this for DraftKings or something. I saw that like a few hours ago. He wasn't terrible in the commercial, but we saw him when he popped up in wrestling, and you were kind of like,
really legitimately thought he was going to
Oh
wrestle.
I
was hoping he would wrestle.
Yeah, which it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but 80 for Brady, I think it's going to fly under the radar.
Oh, without a doubt, it's going to fly under the radar.
It's probably going to be really funny though, because the women that are in this movie,
it being funny, yes,
it's going to be that movie that it's like you're going to catch later on. It'll be on TV. You're going to watch it and be like, how did I not watch this? This is actually hilarious.
This will be one of those movies that does well on a streaming service.
Oh, absolutely.
In the theater, it's going to have a limited run.
Yeah.
Might be a week or two. That's why we're releasing it in February.
And
you can release it for 3 weeks, and that'll be the end of it. I had a month run.
Yeah. Now, on the same day, they're releasing an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
See, this movie, at the Cabin. This movie looked interesting until I heard
Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. I was like, no.
Yeah, Shyamalan and I have a very unique relationship. He makes movies that I can't fucking stand. And it's not because, oh, there's a twist. No, there's been 3 of his movies that I absolutely enjoyed. Can you figure out which ones?
The Sixth Sense?
No.
I might have lost them.
Unbreakable.
Okay.
Split and Glass.
Okay.
The Unbreakable trilogy. Those movies I enjoyed. But I'm sorry. The Sixth Sense I figured out within the first 15 minutes. I saw the pool of blood. I'm like, there's no way that ambulance is getting there fast enough. He's dead. That was it. And if I've spoiled this movie for you, screw you. It's been far too long, and this movie should have been spoiled. It was spoiled by the commercials with, I see dead people. No kidding. You're talking to a dead person the whole movie.
Okay, let's just, for those of you who haven't seen commercials about it yet, knock at the cabin door. It's the end times.
Well, it's Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the cabin, sorry.
Yeah.
It's the end times, and you have a family, husband, wife, daughter, or son?
Kid.
Let's
just do a generic
refuge. Right, they're looking for refuge. And they go to a cabin. And if you open a cabin door at the end of days and you see Dave Bautista in there, you turn around and you won because it's Dave Bautista.
See, the thing is, I saw it completely differently. Like the way I saw that trailer was, okay, this family's at a cabin and now you've got Dave Bautista and like 3 other people knocking at the cabin, and it's like, the world is going to end if we don't make a sacrifice. None of you can leave. One of you has to give up your life. I'm like, oh, no. This sounds like another shitty Shyamalan movie.
Well, I saw a commercial for it the other day, and you saw like planes falling from the sky, and you saw more stuff letting you know it was the end of days.
Yeah, and it's like, if they don't sacrifice one of them, and they don't make that sacrifice for the world, oh, the world is going to come to an end. At this point, let the world fucking come to an end.
You know what? This movie, it has good bones.
The fact that Dave Bautista's in this, and Bautista has become a great actor when it comes to the roles he's playing, like, he does such a great job.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel like this is a movie that even his name being attached to it does not make me want to see this movie.
Yeah, if it wasn't for M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's Shyamalan's name alone is, to me, basically, if I'm going to see this, I'm seeing this at home. This is not a movie that I will ever go to the movie theater to see.
No. So, we're giving it a meh.
No, you're giving it a meh. I'm giving it a hell no.
Okay.
Because there's no way. This is.
No, I'm not going to the movies to see it. If I see it on TV, meh.
If I see it on TV, they're going to be lucky if I don't change the channel.
It's going to be one of those channels stuff on.
If it's on a streaming platform, you know that I am going to keep looking at other things.
Yes.
That's going to be like in case of emergency, and I am completely, totally bored.
Basically, if he has nothing to fall asleep to, he'll put that on and be out in 10 fucking seconds.
Yeah, the same way, like, there are certain movies, which while you brought that up, is there a movie that can put you to sleep every single time? I've got 2.
Probably. I mean, I watch so much weird and random shit.
But that one movie you can put on no matter what, and you will knock out.
No.
See, I have two, and one of them's really going to surprise you. The first one is Grease. If that movie's on, I will pass out.
There's too much noise and singing in Grease for me to fall asleep to.
I grew up next to a train station, so it's like it.
How often does a train go by? So often you don't even notice.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of Grease, 1 second. You know they're actually making a prequel to that movie.
Fuck and you.
It's Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies.
I have no words. I have words, but even though this is an explicit podcast, if we do, because we are video recording this just in case, if this does go up, I don't want what I'm going to say or could say to be recorded.
We could always, censor it out. Go
No, there would be, it would be too long to censor.
We just have one big beep.
Yeah, no.
Okay, continue.
But
you have
no.
Grease that knocks you out, and what's the other one?
It's actually Empire Strikes Back.
Really?
I fall asleep to Empire Strikes Back. I've seen it so much.
Is it because you've seen it so many times, or you're bored with it?
I think it's because I've seen it so many times. And the thing is, after Hoth, I pass out. Okay. I wake up at the lightsaber duel.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It happens every time. I have tried to, like, as I've gotten older, because I saw it so much as a kid. I'm like, I've watched it and I'm walking. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can sit down. I want to watch it. That will be the movie in the watch. If I'm binging, I'm going to fall asleep, but I will wake up for the lightsabers. So it's like, as long as there's lightsabers, I'm awake. It's like, but
everything in the middle, forget it.
Yeah. And I'm like, but it has a great story and I don't understand it, but it happens.
Yep, it happens.
So, yeah, I'm not watching Knock at the Cabin.
Okay.
But now, take a week later, and Sharper?
February 10th.
Yeah,
Friday.
Sharper?
I
mean, it's got Julianne Moore and Sebastian Stan, but I've heard nothing about this movie.
I think if this is what I'm thinking of, I think it's like a romance film where he's in like Italy or something like that. Because I remember seeing like a preview for a movie with Sebastian in it, where he's on like a moped driving through like an Italian city, and if that's what I'm thinking of, I'm not into it. Nothing against Juliana or Sebastian, but
yeah,
I'll wait.
See, you've at least seen something of it. I haven't, so it's going to be one of those movies that I'm going to pass, even though it says it has a theatrical release.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to be checking this one out. Now, the next one is a Netflix release. Your Place or Mine?
Neither.
I'm sorry, it's Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, Netflix, I will not be watching this one. Nothing against you, but one, I'm not a fan of the casting. Just seeing Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon.
The story's been told so many times with the same characters with different actors.
Yeah, I'm not interested. It's not going to get me. Netflix, you have me tuning in already for that 90s show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want more Ashton Kutcher. I want less. He's everywhere. Not in a bad way, but there's so many. Everywhere you go, you're going to see a repeat of that 70s show.
Yeah.
So it's, and then when you get to the repeats of the last couple seasons of 2.5 Men.
Yeah, no.
I kind of need a break. And it'll be nice to see him in like a small role in that 90s show.
I think if they do it right, the original cast, aside from the grandparents, would only pop up sporadically.
Yeah. And
like Fez is like a hairstylist now.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I'm like, I'm interested, and I saw like the quick little teaser with Leo. So the fact that we're getting Tommy Chong is coming back, it's like, okay, now you got me interested, because I thought they would have tried to say Leo died, like just like
you can't kill Leo.
No,
come on, just like in in a National Lampoon Senior Trip, Red. I can't take him because I'm immune.
Oh God, I love that movie. National Lampoon
blew out Kennedy's eternal flame.
Yeah, National Lampoon Senior Trip was, I think, the last of the fun National Lampoon's movies?
I don't know. I think Christmas Vacation.
No,
that was after.
That was before.
Okay.
Remember, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation, all the vacation movies until they started redoing them or doing sequels to them.
No, I think Vegas Vacation came after Senior Trip.
I don't know, because I got the DVDs, which was they gave you National Lampoon Senior Trip and Loaded Gun.
I like Loaded Weapon 1.
Yeah, National, Senior Trip, though, for me was great.
You don't deserve Kennedy.
It's Matt Fuhrer is amazing,
and you see a very chubby Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, it's a young Jeremy Renner
who we are sending out well wishes. I read an article today. He might not be able to keep his leg.
Oh, see,
best wishes, speedy recovery. Hope you're able to keep it.
Yeah, we are wishing you all the best and that you will recover and things will be good.
Yes,
because he is a great actor, and I would like to see more of things with him.
Yep.
And he seems like a decent person from everything you hear about him.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to see something bad happen to him.
Right.
There are other people that bad things should happen, but somebody who kicks puppies, that they deserve to lose a leg. Not someone like Jeremy Renner. No. So with that said, we wish Jeremy Renner all the best. But in National Lampoon Senior Trip, the one thing that everyone forgets because no one realizes she's in it, Tara Strong.
Yes, she is.
And I love the fact that she's in it. It was like seeing her where we didn't see her back then. She was doing voice work.
Just voice work.
So it was like the first time you got to see her, and I was like, oh my God, that's the person doing the voice. It's kind of like watching A Different World after you've seen Rugrats and see Cree Summer. It's like, that's the one who's Susie. It's like you can see it, you hear it. It's one of these days we got to play a game of match the voice actor to the cartoon character.
Okay.
Because we're gonna figure out how to do this.
We'll get you guys involved.
Yeah, because this will be a stream. This will be a streaming event for us, because this will be something we will stream on my Twitch channel. Because, oh my God, this should be a fun game. So we're promising this, and if you want to guarantee we're gonna do this,
right? Follow us.
Email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Send us emails. Let us know what you think of us. You can tell us what you like about the show. You can tell us what you hate. You can even say how much you hate Mike's voice. I had to, just because he's mouthing along. So it's just,
yep.
Yeah. I don't like when another actor is mouthing my dialogue. Will. No.
Next up.
Yeah. So next, we move on to Valentine's Day.
Tuesday the 14th.
Yep.
Also grandma's birthday.
Yeah. What About Love with Sharon Stone and Andy Garcia?
So the synopsis of this film is: two young lovers change their parents' lives when they learn from their children's joyful experiences, rediscover their feelings.
Yes. Yeah. This could be a date movie for someone.
Not us.
Not me. And I'm definitely not dating you.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. I can do better. I have.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. This is not no. It's just Sharon Stone and Andy Garcia are really good, but I just can't picture myself seeing this in the theaters or even watching it at all.
Not even though. Sorry.
So
not even on a bet. If
Yeah.
you pay me, I wouldn't do it.
This would be the bet for the Super Bowl. Whoever loses has to see this movie.
Fuck you.
That's the torturous bet.
Yeah, and we make this bet. The Giants will go to the Super Bowl. I want the Giants. Oh,
fuck you. Stranger things have happened.
Not yet. They haven't. They still haven't finished the series. So.
Well, now we're gonna move on. A couple days later.
Yes, the 17th.
The 17th. Now this is where I'm excited.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yes.
everything I'm seeing about this movie screams this is going to be the movie to really set the full tone for the new phase of the MCU.
Yes. From when
And
I get that impression. I haven't seen too much of it.
no,
I haven't seen too many.
I'm trying not to watch too much of it. Like, I don't want to dig too deep
Mm-hmm.
because everyone's got their theories about Kang and Ant-Man and trying like, is this time because time travel in the quantum realm? Is this in the past or the whatever?
Right.
I don't want to get into the speculation. I want to enjoy this.
Right.
And Paul Rudd, Lily Evangeline, all of them. This is going to be that movie that I am definitely seeing in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to make sure that I really enjoy watching this movie.
Yep.
Because first off, it's Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is great.
Paul Rudd, just seeing
Even
him in a
when he was
movie makes me
doing
happy.
Even when he was doing the commercials for Super Nintendo and F Super Zero
Yeah.
video game, and he's sitting there, he's like, "Wow!" You're like, "That's cool."
Yeah, it's like when you look back and you see what he had done outside of his film career, it's like, yeah, Paul Rudd though, it's like he seems like such a nice, genuine guy that it's
Mhm.
like I want to see him in more movies.
Yep.
So this one I am absolutely looking forward to.
And the Ant-Man series, I am happy to say that I was wrong when, of my first impression, when I heard Ant-Man. I was like, Ant-Man? I go, he was always a secondary character in the Avengers. I was like, eh. You know, I only knew him as Hank Pym. So I didn't really follow. I didn't follow him at all in the comics.
Yeah, you didn't realize that there were
I didn't
a
realize there
couple
was
other.
others. No, I didn't. And I was like, I don't think it's gonna do well. I don't think he's a strong enough character. Paul Rudd is doing it, so at first I was thinking, okay, it's straight comedy. I go, I don't see it doing well. I think at the time I like that might be the first flap of the MCU. I saw it, and thankfully I was wrong.
I'm sorry, the first flop of the MCU. No, the first flop of the MCU
Iron Man
was
3.
no. Thor: A Dark World.
I wouldn't call it
Thor
a
was.
flop.
I didn't like Thor. I hated Thor: A Dark World.
I wouldn't call Dark World a flop. I would call it a underachievement, but I wouldn't flop it.
I consider it a flop because it really was not their shining moment, and I mean it was early on.
See, in my opinion, I think Iron Man 3 was a flop.
Oh, that was a flop, but it was a flop for the wrong reasons. It came out at the wrong time. They changed who the villains were, so there were certain things that were changed. When you hear the stories about it, you're kind of like, really? Although I will say, I did love seeing all the Iron Man suits.
Yes, that was cool.
Like that was one of those moments where it was like, I'm willing to forgive a little bit of this movie. Not a lot, just a little. But Ant-Man, that's the thing. When they brought in Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
I basically felt like this is what the Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's going to be in that framework of being a little more funny,
Mm-hmm.
a little more casual, and you're going to be able to sit back and actually enjoy yourself. You're not going to get hammered away with like some big message. I mean, granted, every Spider-Man movie has the message, with great power comes great responsibility, but not to the same degree as, Captain America Civil War, where it's like now they're all button heads. It's like, granted, I thought the Sokovia Accords were terrible. It was a terrible idea to sign something like that. But so I was definitely Team Cap. But I can understand why people didn't want to side with Cap, because there was a lot of shit going on in there. But Ant-Man really was like that. Oh, thank God they brought it back down, gave us some laughs. It doesn't all have to be gloom and doom and like the world
ending
Yeah.
emergencies. You could focus it on like a city or just like some
Yeah.
a little personal crises.
And then what's his name? The guy who narrates the Ant-Man movies?
Oh, Michael Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena.
Michael Pena should, if they ever wanted, like when Marvel says, okay, you know what, we're done with the big films, we're done, we're just gonna give everybody a rest, but we told our story, phase whatever, they should have Michael Pena just recap everything.
I actually want Michael Pena to recap everything all the time.
Yes, he's great.
I'm like, I could listen to some voices all the time, and they're just so soothing.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Pena, on the other hand, I can listen to because I get enjoyment out of it. It's not relaxing.
Funny.
It's comedy in its best form. So now let's move on to another movie coming out, Of an Age. It's supposedly a theatrical release. I know nothing about this. And
well, according to my handy dandy phone here, it came out last year, 22.
Really, Of an Age came out, and it still doesn't have a date, but yet it is coming out as a wide theatrical release. I'm sorry, it's a wide theatrical release, not a theatrical release, a wide theatrical. I'm now confused as to what a fucking theatrical release is versus a wide theatrical release.
I don't know, but the synopsis of this film: during the summer of 1999, an amateur ballroom dancer has an unexpected and intense 24-hour romance with a friend's older brother. No.
Yeah, sorry, not gonna happen.
Not interested.
You have lost me. And now Apple TV has Sharper again. So now it's like, okay, it's gonna get a small release, or they're just waiting. They couldn't figure out which day.
Yeah. I think they're gonna say, okay, if it doesn't do good here, we're gonna shuffle it right onto Netflix 2 weeks later.
Nope, it's going to Apple
TV.
TV. So I'm sorry, but it's Apple fucking TV. Now, I'm gonna save one of these for the next week because I want to talk about this one last. Okay. But we're gonna start with Jesus Revolution.
I actually saw.
You saw something about this
today? Actually, before I came here, I was getting my shit together, and I had the phone on, like, as I'm emptying the dishwasher, and like one of those ads popped up, and it was like Jesus Revolution. I was like, what?
I know it's got Kelsey Grammer and Kimberly William Paisley, so I'm like, okay, some good names attached.
Okay, looking it up.
Yep.
In the 1970s, Greg Laurie and a sea of young people descend on a sunny Southern California to redefine truth, although means of I'll try this again, folks. Take two. In the 1970s, Greg Laurie and a sea of young people descend on sunny Southern California to redefine truth through all means of liberation. Inadvertently, Laurie meets a charismatic street preacher and pastor who opens the door to a church to a stream of wandering youth. What unfolds is a concurrent movement, counterculture movement that becomes the greatest spiritual awakening in American history. This could be a true story only because it takes place in the fucking 70s and everybody was doing so much drugs in the 70s. It could have been like, okay.
All right. So this may have some potential.
It may.
It may. So I'm not going to give it a harsh critique because I really don't know much about it. And I'm pretty sure I'll see something with Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah,
but I do not think I will see this in a theater if it's released in the theaters. Now that we got this lesser film out of the way, we got to talk about Cocaine Bear.
When I first heard Cocaine Bear,
you saw the trailer.
No, first I heard. Oh, you didn't... No. I did hear it. I did see the trailer. Okay. When I first heard about it, I'm like, Cocaine Bear? And then people were like, yeah, it's about a bear who snorts like 2 tons of cocaine and goes on a murderous rampage. I'm like, what? Tell me this is a comedy.
When I first heard the title, just on the title alone, I was expecting to see this was going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
And then I saw the trailer.
And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Oh, I looked at it and I was like, I can't. I got to see this. There's no way. Ravenous bear snorts all this cocaine and goes on a murder spree. I'm like, this is the cheeseball movie I have been waiting for.
Let's just read the overview when you Google this film. After a 500-pound black bear consumes a significant Okay, not telling you how much. A significant amount of cocaine and embarks on a drug fuel rampage, an eccentric gathering of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenagers, because they're the key to anything if you want to survive. You have teenagers because you throw them first. Assemble in a Georgia forest. This only makes sense if you take place in Georgia.
See, now
that's the only thing. That's the only location where it can possibly make any sense in Georgia.
But does Georgia have a cocaine problem?
No, because the bear snorted all. Hang on, I gotta see who made this. And the overview, it's thriller, dark comedy. No, get rid of thriller. Just leave it as a dark comedy. That would have been like perfect. Dark comedy, cocaine bear. I'm all in.
No, it needs to be a thriller because there's got to be suspense. How much cocaine can the bear take before the murderous rampage begins?
Do you know who directed this Academy Award-winning film?
Oh, who? Please tell me.
Elizabeth Banks.
Thank you. That is all.
And she's a producer on it too.
That is all the justification I need to see the movie. Elizabeth Banks has been behind some amazing things, but this is going to go down as her crowning achievement.
And the sad thing is, this will also go down as Ray Liotta's final film. I mean, he was probably fighting the bear for the cocaine. I would rather see Ray Liotta fight a cocaine-induced bear to the death for his cocaine. I'd rather see that. I mean, come on, you put that shit on pay-per-view. Dana, come on, Dana White, you obviously get that. You dropped the ball on that one, buddy. Come on now, Ray Liotta versus a fucking bear for cocaine. You'd see Ray Liotta fight to the death. He will make that bear tap out.
Listen, but not only does it have Ray Liotta, it has Kerry Russell.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know if
hot off the heels of Star Wars. Let's jump into Cocaine Bear.
I don't know if I could sit there and ask for more. Just, you figure Samuel L. Jackson did Snakes on a Plane just because it was called Snakes on a Plane. There would be snakes on a plane. Okay, this is Cocaine Bear. There's cocaine and a bear.
And Ray Liotta.
And Kerry Russell.
Actually, you know what? I'm looking at the cast list.
Okay.
And she's not listed.
She's not? Then why is it?
I don't know.
So now, just to be clear.
Maybe she has a cameo in it.
All right.
And they need...
Well, listen, we're looking at our list off of Cinema Blend.
I'm looking at my list.
No, but I'm saying what we're going off of for the releases is from Cinema Blend. We are giving Cinema Blend all the credit for this list. Give credit where credit's due.
Of cocaine, I can't even say it with a straight face.
Cocaine Bear.
The only two people you would really notice is Ray Liotta.
Okay.
And one of the guys from Will and Grace. He played. No, wait, not Will and Grace. I'm sorry. Ed O'Neill's show, Modern Family.
Modern Family.
He played Ed O'Neill's son, the skinnier of the two gay guys.
Okay.
I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah,
those are the only two people you'll notice. I'm like, oh, him.
It's funny. I've only recently started watching Modern Family. Now that it's all over, it's like I've been watching it on Hulu. I'm enjoying it.
It's a good show.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Cocaine Bear. It's Cocaine Bear. I don't care what anyone has to say about this. It's Cocaine Bear. If you're giving me a bear and cocaine.
And Ray Liotta.
You have now given me everything that I could ask for from this movie. It's the same way Snakes on a Plane. You got Samuel Jackson, Snakes, and a plane. That was all you needed. It's like, this is it. You just need those three things. I don't even think I need Ray Liotta. I just need the cocaine and the bear.
I want to see Ray Liotta fight the bear. If Ray Liotta does not fight this bear at some point for the cocaine. I want to see one scene they have to have in a movie. You have to have Ray Liotta and the bear both see the cocaine off in the distance. They have to look at the cocaine. They have to look at each other, look back at it, and run towards it.
Elizabeth Banks, thank you for making this movie because it's not even out yet. And you've got me excited about seeing a movie called Cocaine Bear. The only lower budget movie I can think of that I am more excited to see this entire year is the sequel to Sorority Babes and Slime Ball Bolorama. Thank you, Full Moon Productions. Full Moon. I saw the trailer. I loved it. I'm like and it looks like they got the same like puppet imp and stuff. I can't wait. I love these cheesy movies. I really do. And something like Cocaine Bear definitely sounds like it's going to be pure and unadulterated cheese. I know. I love the looks you're giving because you're just like, are you looking up more pictures of Cocaine Bear?
No, I'm trying to find the production, the budget for Cocaine Bear.
It does not matter. It didn't get enough. I want a bigger budget. I want like Cocaine Bear. When I first heard it, I'm like, now I didn't think of anything else because I was already shocked because I don't know if you heard.
Well, have you seen the poster for Cocaine
Bear?
Oh,
absolutely.
It's a bear roaring with look like it's coming out of a mountain of cocaine. You know, everybody in the company like, oh man, look at that shit, yo.
That's some powder.
That's some powder, bro. Fucking that bear, yo.
The bear stole our cocaine.
The bear stole our cocaine, yo. Go fucking get me Ray Liotta. Go fight the bear, motherfucker.
Think about it. It really is. It's Ray Liotta and a bear on cocaine. I can't ask for more. I really can't. Now, with that said, we've now gone through the movies for the month of February.
March, you better step up your game because you're going against
Cocaine
Sharper,
Bear,
Jesus Revolution, and Cocaine Bear. Come on, March. If you don't have like animal ants up your anus I consider you a failed month.
Yeah, March has got a lot to live up to. I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be the thing. But
okay, wait. Going back to Cocaine Bear.
He found the budget.
No, I didn't find the budget. I found something else that's even more ridiculous.
What?
Synopsis.
Oh, there's a synopsis.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. And again, this can only happen in fucking Georgia. Right. Synopsis. Inspired by the 1985, which tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah, it's a true story.
True story of a drug runner's plane crash, missing cocaine, and the black bear that ate it. This wild thriller finds an oddball group of cops, criminals, teens, and tourists converging in a Georgia forest, probably to find the cocaine, because that's what you do in Georgia. If you're not fucking your cousin, you're finding cocaine in a bear.
We do not condone fucking your cousin.
Unless that is Georgia. That's West Virginia. I'm sorry.
No, we don't. We don't condone that in any state. We think that's wrong.
Yes.
We don't think you want your children to have web feet.
Although, you know, if
more brain damage than they already have.
When the polar ice caps melt and we all become water world, web feet might come in handy. But anyway, Georgia, where a 500-pound apex predator has ingested a staggering amount of cocaine and gone on a coke-fueled rampage for more blow and blood. No, that last line must have sold Elizabeth Banks. Cocaine Bear, 500 apex predator, more blow and blood, and she would have been like, "I'm in. Fuck Rita Repulsa in Mighty Morphin 2. I'm doing Cocaine Bear."
Well, she wasn't going to be Rita Repulsa in another Power Rangers movie anyway.
Still.
You know, which I will say, and I'm gonna bring this up since you brought it up. The Power Rangers movie that Lionsgate put out actually was not bad at all.
No, it was a very good film. It took it out of bubblegum world where the regular Power Rangers were, and you kind of made it a little more believable.
Yeah, it was more gritty. These were actual teenagers with attitude,
right,
as opposed to the show where you can say teenagers with attitude, but the original Power Rangers
had no attitude.
They were the good kids.
Yeah.
They were the really good kids. They were doing charity events. They were doing book drives. They did everything. They jumped out of a plane for charity in their very first movie. These kids did not have an attitude.
No.
They had an edge to them, but they did not have an attitude. Although I will say the one thing that I did feel was missing from the Lionsgate 2017, I believe, Power Rangers movie, there was no Bulk and Skull.
Yes.
Bulk and Skull were the actual comedy that drew us back in every week. And frankly, yeah, no. They missed the opportunity. Yeah. They missed the opportunity of not having a Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're like, just in the classroom.
Yeah. But the cast was great for for the movie. The only complaint I really have for the entire thing, well, two. One, you said Krispy Kreme way too much.
Yeah, product placement.
Yeah, that was just a little too much. But the other is they weren't in the suits enough.
No, they weren't.
The morph sequence was so short that it didn't feel like it was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
When they finally did, it was like, okay, didn't look terrible, but it wasn't. I needed a little more action in the suits.
Yeah, a little more action in the suits, and the only thing that I went meh was when they finally got the Zords and they formed the Megazord. Wasn't too thrilled on how the Megazord looked.
Well, that's the thing. The Megazord in all the movies, except for Turbo, wasn't going to look good anyway when they went CG.
Yeah, I mean, they could have. I don't know. I just didn't like the way it looked. They could have.
Yeah, there's
snapped it up a little bit more.
The technology's there. We have some decent CG, but it especially after Transformers. You see Transformers and you're like, we know we got CG that we could do this.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So.
But Lionsgate has nowhere near Michael Bay money. So.
Yeah. Although I am looking forward for Beast Wars, that should be good. I just watched.
I'll give it. You know what? I haven't watched the last Transformers movie I saw in the theater was Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
But did you watch Bumblebee?
Yes, but I didn't see it in the theater.
Okay. But you still watched Bumblebee.
I watched Bumblebee. I enjoyed Bumblebee because the first half was like watching War for Cybertron. Like the first scenes.
The first 10 minutes of that movie
were great.
Was everything you wanted. Being an 80s Transformers fan.
Yes.
Like, they gave it to you. And they were even, like, still in the robot forms from the original cartoon.
Yes. And it explains why, explains how Bumblebee lost his voice.
Yep.
It kind of explains everything that happened in the first film. I like at the end of Bumblebee, he becomes the Camaro.
Yep.
And I like the fact that you see an 80s version of Optimus Prime, the flat front of the truck with the gray trailer, with the blue stripe. I liked all that.
And the other thing is, too, the cast for the humans.
Yes, worked.
Haley Steinfeld, amazing.
Yes.
She is a wonderful talent. Seeing her in stuff, I get excited knowing she's in a project. I mean, her in the Hawkeye series. Oh, my God. It was like, this is great. She has amazing comic timing.
Oh, yes.
She's really good at delivering drama.
Mm-hmm.
And Bumblebee was that moment where I was like, you saved the franchise. This was not, all the other movies were. It's like, no. I gave up on the franchise.
Yes.
I thought it was dead. And then I saw Bumblebee and I was like, okay.
It gave me a little bit of hope.
But
I'm not getting my hopes up for Beast Wars, but
I was watching yesterday actually on YouTube. There was Toy Galaxy, that channel. They tell all about old toys and like different TV shows and stuff. They did Beast Wars. They stuck with just Beast Wars. They didn't do Beast Machines, touch on it, but they stuck with Beast Wars. And you know what? I kind of want to go back and watch Beast Wars again. I know the animation style doesn't hold up because it was early computer-generated stuff. I mean, it's like the original reboot.
Yeah.
They were ahead of their time. And reboot, I was more than willing to watch. Beast Wars back then, it was kind of like the animation and like the mouth moving and
Yeah.
stuff, it was a little weird back then, but I think I'm more used to it now.
I think my favorite character from Beast Wars was Rat Trap.
Really?
He was just a snarky little rat, and he was like he'll walk up to Megatron like "fuck you."
Yeah. See, I actually really like Black Arachnia. The
I have to go.
the spider was just it was just she was badass and really felt like a Black Widow where it was like, oh, she had her own plans.
Yo, she did, but I don't know.
And
There's something about the attitude and the voice actor who did Rat Trap. He gave the impression like Rat Trap would walk up to Ryan
yeah,
Hawks, kick him in the balls, saying "fuck you, what are you doing?
he
You're
pretty much
doing it wrong."
he pretty much did,
He
but
did.
I mean the one thing I will say that got me to watch the show back in the 90s was the fact that they did do an episode where they introduced Starscream's Spark
Yes.
like possessing one of I'm like, wow, so his spark is still going strong.
Yep.
It's like you can kill his body, but you're
You
not
can't
getting
kill him.
no, you're not getting rid of Starscream. And Starscream is my absolute favorite of all of the Transformers, seconded by Soundwave.
Yes. Did you happen to see the episode where Soundwave gets killed?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
I have it wasn't aired in the United States. It was one of the ones that were in Japan,
Okay.
and I have it on bootleg. I can't remember which one. I think it was the one right. I think it might have been the Headmaster series.
Of course, because everything happened after Headmasters. Because
No, it just might have been in the Headmaster series.
listen, Headmasters was really jumping the shark for a kid
Yeah.
as a fan back then.
But the way they did it, the Japan Headmasters was decent.
Yeah.
It was a whole big battle between Soundwave and Blaster.
Oh God.
I mean, this was like a knockdown, drag out. At one point, I believe
The Walkman versus the boombox.
the boombox. At one point, I believe Blaster had his arm blown off. And they both ended up killing each other. I think Blaster got
Well, of course that wasn't going to be aired in the U.S. because,
Blaster got I think he got a hole blown through him
Okay.
because I think Soundwave finally used like those cannon on his shoulder, blew a hole through the middle.
He finally used the battery.
Finally used the battery. I think he blew a hole through the middle of Soundwave Blaster, and as he's sitting there like blah 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 blah, he picked up his big ass gun Blaster, shoots Soundwave, and he was just like Soundwave just kind of like turns around. You see him get all like zzz,
Yeah.
you see the sparks, and then he explodes in a million different pieces. But then you see Laserbeak come down, pick up Soundwave's head, brings it back to I believe the underwater base of the Decepticons.
Yeah.
And then they reformat Soundwave into Sound Blaster.
Okay.
And you see him walk out. It's like it's Soundwave's body, but he's like instead of having blue and gold or blue and yellow, it's black and yellow.
Okay. Well, I mean, considering the fact that there is the alternate version of Optimus Prime,
Nemesis.
Nemesis. I'm like, to me, didn't that feel like Kitten Car to you? Almost.
No. I always kind of ever since I saw Motormaster, I kind of wanted to have an evil Optimus Prime. I wanted Motormaster when I was younger
Yeah.
to use as a bad Optimus Prime, and then my friend had Motormaster, and you compare him next to Optimus, and you're like, you come up to Optimus's dick. You can't be how are you a semi? You barely reach his nuts. What's going on? So, although I do have, I must say,
Are you sure it wasn't the GoBot version?
no. Although I do have to say I have the legacy versions of the Stunticon.
Yeah.
I have Motormaster, Dead End,
Which is
Drag Strip.
It really is hilarious too, because when you think about it, all the ones that fused together and became a giant robot, they were a lot smaller.
They were. although, like I said, the legacy versions,
Yeah.
the ones that I have, do justice to Motormaster because now he is a legit. He's bigger,
Yep.
like way he should be. I saw it. I was like, what? He's like
Yeah.
the size of my Android.
That's right, folks. We're also gonna talk toys because
Because we're children.
exactly. Listen, we started off this show with a joke that was pretty much proving we're children. You did it. Don't worry about it. You'll hear it on the repeat if you actually listen to the show. Um, but yeah, no. We want to thank the people who are listening to the
Yes.
show. You guys are the reason why I keep doing this. Well, I'm going to do it anyway, no matter what. But I appreciate the fact that you guys are out there listening.
And I appreciate the fact that Danny is allowing me to come into the lair and basically break his balls.
Yeah, it's not the same where if I'm just talking to myself, I don't want to sound like some weird conspiracy theory nutbag. It's nice to have some ideas to bounce off of people.
And to prove he's a weird conspiracy nutbag.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Well, I don't believe in dumb conspiracy theories. My conspiracy theories make sense.
I don't believe in the Beatles. I just believe in me.
Yeah, that I don't believe. But no. But I mean, let's face it. We've got a lot of content that we can go through because there's been a ton of stuff that's been going on. I mean, we'll touch on a couple of little things that have popped up. One thing I know it doesn't really register too much for you, but the officially announced the other day, Johnny Young Bosch came out and announced that he is going to be back doing the voice of Vash the Stampede in the new Trigun Stampede series that just started off. So when the English dubs come out, Johnny will be back, and that is absolute amazing news because I honestly was hearing rumors he wasn't going to, and now that he is, thank you. At least you give me a reason to watch the damn show. The animation looks great, but to see it and hear Johnny's voice back as Vash, that is going to be basically chef's kiss. Now, let's talk about I don't know how much you heard about the WWE Saudi Arabia sale shit. I'm hearing it's a thing and then it's not a thing, but I know Stephanie McMahon put in her resignation. And I'm sorry, but she's leaving. It's her company, like it's her legacy. Like this is being handed down through the family. And if it is sold to the Saudis,
she's done.
No, I'm done. I will never watch them again.
I haven't really watched WWE in a while. I try as hard as I can to give it a shot because I grew up with WWE. I wasn't a WCW guy. My loyalties lied with WWE. But after a while, I was just like, ugh, enough. Okay, it's like,
yeah, but
people come back, they put the strap on them, and I lost interest in wrestling for a while. Again, I'm gonna sound like
it happens.
I'm gonna sound like a mark, but AEW rekindled my interest.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, okay, AEW, it gives you long-term storytelling.
Listen, I went when Vince was now no longer in charge. It's gotten me to the point where I'm willing to give it a shot. And just as I'm getting back in and I'm dipping my toe into the water, Vince is back. Stephanie's gone. And then you hear that he may be selling to the Saudis. And I'm sorry, but this is where I have a lot of issues. The Saudis have too much money to throw around everywhere. They own a giant patch of land out in Texas for producing oil. Why did they own oil producing land in America? I have a problem with this.
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, the fact that the Saudis they were backing 9/11, they have anti-American ties. I have issues.
I'm not getting into that.
And and you don't have to. I'm going to get on my soapbox on this one because I'm sorry, but after seeing the shitty Saudi shows that they've done of Crown Jewel and whatever they want to call them, the women get treated like shit. They're not they're not really able to wrestle, and if they have to wear fucking bodysuits. It's like, you can still see their body shape. It doesn't make a difference. You're ridiculous. They oppress women. They have a problem with everything. They are so it's not even about being progressive. It's about the fact that they are anti-American and people are kissing their ass. I didn't understand why Vince was even still doing business with them after when they got stuck on the tarmac after a Crown Jewel show and they weren't able to make it back for the SmackDown show that next day. So I'm sorry, but it's like, I'm out. If I know that the Saudis own it, I don't want any part of it. We're giving money to and or getting money from a country that they don't even like us. You want our entertainment, but you don't like the way of life. And Hulk Hogan was like the symbol for America. It was WWE's like symbol, and you kept moving down, and they found a new symbol. I mean, let's face it. Austin wasn't like red, white, and blue, but Austin was what the American attitude was.
Mm-hmm.
Cena was bleeding red, white, and blue. So I'm sorry, but when you're doing shit like this, I have no desire. You basically have proven it's like, why did I even bother sticking my toe back in the water?
The way I see it, behind the scenes shit needs to say behind the scenes. I don't watch AEW to know who paid who or what, affiliation whoever owns 10% of the company has. I don't watch it for that. I watch it because, like I say in wrestling, the wrestling combines the two best parts of the circus: your acrobats and your clowns.
And your strongmen.
And your strongmen. I watch it for I want to see these people show off. They have incredible strength. They have incredible skill. They have incredible talent. They have great mic, some of them, great mic skills. You entertain us that way. And I applaud you for it. You put your bodies and your health on the line every time you step into the ring. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you for doing that because I know a bunch of independent wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they do the exact same shit for a 50 crowd audience. They bust their ass. What they don't do is they don't bore you with politics. They don't bore you with everything else that goes on behind the scene. They tell your story. I don't need to know that WWE is being sold to the Saudis. I don't care. I don't want to see that. Just that's why I don't watch football anymore. I don't give a shit. Oh, I'm protesting this one. I don't care. Put points on the board for my team. I'm protesting this. I oppose that. I don't care. I want to be entertained when I turn on the TV. When I watch a football game, which I don't, but I'm just saying if I did.
I was going to say.
I don't.
Like, you watch football?
No. I want to be entertained for the hour that I'm watching your sport. Okay, well, I don't give a fuck about
listen,
your
if you're watching
personal views.
First off, if you're watching baseball, you know you're not being entertained.
No.
You're there to drink.
Yeah.
So let's just be.
That's why I'd rather go to a minor league game because they try harder.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, while we've been talking with like the little bit of wrestling, I want to move over with Stephen Amell.
Yes. He
has been posting stuff about being there filming the final season of The Flash.
Yes.
I am now excited about this.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about it last time, but now there's been a lot more confirmation, and it's like
I've actually seen Amell's suit. It's a little more darker.
Okay.
With it's almost like black, like a very very dark green, or almost a black with like some of the seams on like his suit are red.
Yeah.
So it's a good contrast. I want to know, are they doing time travel? Are they doing time travel? Are they saying, hey, he's from a different dimension, a different universe?
Yeah.
How are they doing it?
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's something definitely to look forward to. So when the Flash season starts, we're definitely talking about this final season of Flash.
I mean,
especially because it is the final season.
I'm a Flash fan. I'm a Flash fan.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
There's no way around it. I mean, I want to I hope it goes out on a good note. I was a fan of the '90s show. I'm I'm a fan of this show, this incarnation. Tell you the truth, the only reason I watched Arrow was that one episode where they brought in Barry Allen. I wanted to see how they did it. That's what got me hooked.
See, I started with the Arrow, stayed with it, and just kept expanding out. And all the expansions, everything that they were doing within the Berlanti verse, it got me interested. And it kept me hooked. And I mean, there were some great shows, and then there were shows I was sitting there like
why?
Yeah, I had a lot of why questions watching Batwoman.
Yeah.
But yet I stuck with it. I will not be doing that the second that Gotham Knights comes out. I will not even that will not even be entertained. But now with stuff like that, we've got we know that there's some stuff down the pike that we're definitely looking forward to.
Yes.
And next week we are going to be discussing The Last of Us. I heard it's an 80-minute premiere episode.
Yeah, okay. It took me a second to realize the fuck you talking about.
The Last of Us?
Yeah, no. When you said that, I just totally went somewhere else.
Oh, no. They're talking 80 minutes. This thing's like around 80 minutes for... Jesus. Don't play with the fucking wire.
I didn't touch the fucking wire.
You touched the wire. I know you're missing a finger, but come on.
On my other hand, dipshit. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm missing 3/4 of my right pointer finger. But as of right now, as this moron is talking, I'm not paying attention. I'm texting. I'm holding the microphone with my left hand, and I'm not touching the fucking wire. He just wants to yell at me. This pin-headed prick.
Listen, I'm wearing the headphones to monitor the sound, so I now have gotten the static that you guys all got to hear. So, yeah. You can understand why I'd be a little testy. Because, unfortunately, you guys are going to hear it too, because I'm not editing it out. But that being said, now, The Last of Us, 80 minutes, for around 80 minutes for this one episode. And from what I've heard from some people who've seen it, that they got the preview of it, they said it sets up the world building really early. And even for people who didn't play the game, you can almost feel like they took stuff straight out of the game. So I am excited. It's Pedro Pascal, and this is something that HBO actually has me excited about. I was more disappointed this week because I was looking for the new episode of Doom Patrol, and there's no new episode. I'm like, no, don't. Oh, they're splitting the fucking seasons. I forgot that the streaming platforms decided it's a good idea to split this season. If you are going and releasing the episodes week to week, the least you can do
is let us know.
Is not even that. You're doing it week to week. Give us the whole season. Do it continuously, week to week. Don't make me now have to wait 4, 5 months, 6 months even, before I get the next half of the season. It's more aggravating than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, but they're giving us Velma. I'm going to check it out because I'm curious. And I've also been a Scooby-Doo fan.
I'm a Scooby-Doo fan, and the originals, I love it. 13 Ghosts, I love it. I liked it. Even when they redid it, What's New Scooby-Doo, liked it. Mystery Inc. liked it.
Oh, Mystery Inc. was amazing.
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, liked it. Be Cool Scooby-Doo, no.
A pup named Scooby-Doo?
No, I have to. When that came out, I had to say I watched it, and I was like, no.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it, and I love the fact that every episode, it's red herring. It's not me, Jones. When are you going to get it through your thick head?
Yeah. I actually have Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the 13th Ghost, which is actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of the movies that they've put out for Scooby-Doo.
Zombie Island definitely saved it.
But it's one of those things where it's like I've been a fan ever since a kid.
Yep.
So I want to check it out. I want to see what they do.
I actually heard something funny about that. I was reading an article or reading something on Scooby-Doo. And do you know why they gave it a laugh track?
I don't know.
I actually thought when I was watching it as a kid, I thought, okay,
recorded in front of a live studio audience?
Yeah, I thought they played it for like a live audience. I'm like, how did you get there? I want to watch it. I read and they said the reason why Scooby Doo has a laugh track is because they thought that it would be too scary for kids. So they had to put the laugh track in there to let kids know you laugh at this part, kids.
Yep. Hang
and
on
they
a second.
thought that would.
Oh, need a little laugh track? Yeah. There you go.
So that's why they did it.
Yeah. So I mean, and that listen, it gave it a great feel. It felt different from other shows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was one of those cartoons as a kid. I had a huge stuffed Scooby Doo as a kid. So Scooby Doo is iconic.
Yep.
And the only other dog that I liked as much as Scooby Doo was Dynamite. Because Blue Falcon and Dynamite were just, that was great. It was nice to see in that last Scoob movie that they did. They had Blue Falcon and Dynamite, even though it was a new Blue Falcon. It
was Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Yeah, it was great to see some of these characters come back. So it's one of those things where it's like when you can hit the right nostalgia notes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to check out Velma. It's probably not going to be something I want to talk about, but it is definitely something. I'm going to give it a fair shake. See how everything goes.
I might watch the first episode, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Listen, they dropped 2 episodes. I'm like, all right, I'll give this a try. See what happens. It's the least I'm gonna do is try a couple episodes. There's been plenty of stuff that's coming out that I've got more of an interest in, and a lot of it is more returning shows than anything that's new. Because if it's gonna be really new, it's got to like catch my interest early. So if there's one of these shows that you guys out there want to like are interested in seeing, let us know about it. We'd like to know
we'll check it out.
Yeah, we want to know what everyone else wants, whether it's a movie, TV series. Hell, tell me about a video game or
video games, comics. Let us have it.
Hey, give me a new album.
Yeah, music, anything. Let us know. Yeah. Wrestling. Give us a topic. We'll talk about it.
And that's the thing. We are here because we enjoy entertainment in all of its forms.
Mm-hmm.
We're more than willing to discuss, and maybe we'll be able to get some outside opinions on things, whether you guys do it or we bring someone on. So we want you guys to contribute and be a part of the show, be part of our community. I'm not going to kick you out of the lair just yet, but right now we need you to send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's Dragoon with 2 O's, all one word, dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That you can find me at LouDragoon13 on Instagram, on Tribal, on Hive, on Snapchat, and on YouTube. Eventually, I will post more things as my recovery is slowly getting better. I'm moving around a little more than I was before, but it takes some time. Can't be artificial human and think you're going to still be human. I'm more machine than man at this point. It's all metal parts. What do you want? I didn't say they were good. And I'm joined with...
You know me. I'm Mike Schiavo. You can follow Hamster Pellet Productions on Facebook and on Instagram. I have a ticking talk, which is Hamster Pellet 17. Also, something new. The Dragoon's Lair now has a Facebook page. Okay? So check out the Dragoon's Lair on Facebook. You just type in the search Dragoon's Lair and you find us. I'm going to be posting a video of me coming to the lair today. All right. So
that'll be up before the show.
That'll be up before the show. I will post the link to some of our past shows so you can just get a recap and get a feel for what we want. And check us out.
Yep.
And yeah.
And
also, I'm going to do a shameless plug right now.
A shameless plug?
A shameless plug.
Oh, yes. That's different than a normal plug.
Different from a normal plug because I'm only partially involved in this one. And when I say partially involved, I mean I wrote it and I acted 2 parts in it. Tonight I will be screening. I will be showing. Hopefully, Andre's coming over. He has a semi-rough cut of the G.I. Joe film that I wrote, The Fall of Cobra, which is basically a direct sequel to the 86 '87 cartoon movie,
Okay.
whenever year it came out, which is basically a direct sequel. I've seen some of the stills from the uh shoot.
No.
Oh my god. Like I know where the stuff takes place, but watching it, like seeing the still,
Yeah.
whoever did the editing, like special effects wise for this, amazing.
Okay.
Because I know we had Cobra Bunker shot in my parents' garage. You see it, you're like, holy shit. Um, Another thing we shot at in a parking lot on a park across the street from my parents' house. Whoever did this made it look like a legit army base. There's tanks and planes in the background and hangars all over the place. We're shot at in the woods at Goodju. Whoever did it filled in the background and made it look like we're in a fucking jungle. So really looking forward to this. I'll tell you more about it when I watch it. Uh, this will be on. This will be submitted to festivals, and once I get the okay, I might throw a trailer, or I might throw it up on YouTube if I get the okay from Andre. Um, but yeah, definitely something to keep your eyes out for. G.I. Joe: The Fall of Cobra, written by me, Mike Schiavo, starring a bunch of other people and me, because I play Duke and I play Cobra Commander. But no, the cast top notch. The fighting sequence top notch. Um, yeah, we have the main characters in this are Duke, Striker, Snake Eyes, and Scarlet on the Joe side, and on the Cobra side, it's Destro, Cobra Commander, and the Baroness.
All
The
right.
actors knocked it out of the park, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Well, I look forward to seeing it because this was one of the projects that Mike has worked on that I have actually not been involved in.
And that's only because I was asked to write it for Andre. If it was something I was doing on my own, I always have my right hand with me. But since this is something Andre asked me to do,
Yeah.
he wanted to try out a new camera or whatever, so he said, "Write this for me." I was like, "Okay," and that's the only reason why you weren't involved.
Hey,
Nothing.
listen, I'm not bitter about it. I'm actually interested to see how this all plays out and how it looks after it's all fully completed.
Yeah.
So
The only thing that's left. I think he has to add some sound effects and music to it.
hey, we both worked with Andre in the past, and it's he is very talented.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see what this whole thing boils down to.
Yep.
So when we see the full final project, hopefully it'll be able to be available for other people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, people can still watch the Comic Book Jones movie that we did on YouTube on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll throw up
Link to that.
a link to that on the Blue Dragoons Facebook page.
Yeah. Along with that, I also forgot you can find me on TikTok. So I am on the Clock app. While it lasts, who knows how long things will stay in this country anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on that note, we're gonna wind things down and we're gonna head out. So once again, though, I want you guys to remember you can send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's Dragoon with two O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast, all one word, @gmail.com. So write us in, give us stuff. The email is basically me logging into the email. That's all that really has been there.
Yeah.
So we want to hear from you guys. Tell us what you want to hear. Give us some ideas. If there's a classic show that you want us to go over and like review, we've probably seen it, or at least one of us has, because I've spent way too much time watching older TV shows, but not as old as his. So, because I don't watch me TV all day, I can watch MASH, but I'm not as obsessed with it as you are. So, but you're in good company with that because I heard Will Friedle loves MASH. Like, he's a huge fan.
Will, hit us up, man. We'll talk MASH. Let's go, buddy.
So, with that being said, Mike, you want to?
I am Mike Chiavo, the King Hamster Pellet of Hamster Pellet Productions. Check you all later.
And I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon. And we're here at the Dragoon Lair podcast. And I just want to say, it's time for you to go. Go outside, and get out of the lair
Yes.
and enjoy the rest of the world. Later.
We out?
Now we out. Oh.
One thing I want to do.
You're hitting that.